Hi and welcome to Talking Sense. This is the last in a series that we've been having talking about money and relationships, specifically money and marriage. So in the first video, which you can check out here, I think we'll put a link somewhere on the screen, we talked about before marriage. So all of you who are thinking about getting into marriage, have a look at that video. We talked about starting well. I think it's so important. In the next video, which the link is somewhere here as well, we talked about the idea of working together and putting together some goals. And this final video is about finishing well, because I think we have to understand there's an end to all of this that we're talking about. And mostly that end, when we talk from the financial position, is preparing for, I know this sounds a bit morbid, but we are planning to die. And once one of the partners has died, what's going to happen next? So like in the Centonomy 101 program, we have an entire section on what is called estate planning. But the thing about estate planning that many people forget is that it's not just about when you die, what's going to happen with your resources, but it's also about how do you organize your wealth while you're alive to enjoy the last part of your life. The time that you're in retirement, what are you going to do? So my encouragement to you is to begin to think about your estate. What would you like to do? How would you like to consolidate your assets so that as a couple you would be able to live out your life with purpose? That's the first place to begin. And one of the main tools that you need to have at this time is, first of all, at least have a will. And then secondly, now begin to consider other tools for this period of time. Would you put your resources into a trust? Would you use a company? These are the kind of discussions that you need to have. The second thing that on the top of my mind that you need to think about is where you will spend your time. What are you going to do as a couple? Because sometimes the frustration we had when we started training on this area of retirement is that we found that people think it's just about the money. No, a big part of this whole retirement issue is what am I going to do? What's going to happen in this period of time? So you need to start thinking about what is important to you. What is important to you so that you begin to prepare yourself to get into that space? Is it helping upcountry with your community? Is it being actively involved in your children and grandchildren's lives? What is it that matters to you so that you prepare for that period of time? And what are you going to be doing to fill your time? I mean, we spend almost all our lives when we're working at the office. So what are you going to do in that period of time? Think about that. The last thing, and probably the most important thing about the retirement period, is income. You need to think, where are you going to get cash to survive this period of time? Why? Because most likely you will not be in a steady job. So how are you going to convert your resources, whether it is your properties, whether it is your businesses, to be able to generate cash for you to live? You see, one of the biggest tragedies that we deal with in our retirement program is that we find people coming in and they're asset rich in that they have properties, let's say especially land, but they have no cash. And so when you retire, you find yourself wondering, how do I get cash? And that's when the pressure comes and you start selling off the property that you have in order to have the cash to survive. So you now need to start thinking as early as possible, how are we going to turn our assets, that maybe it's land or maybe it is some investment somewhere, into income earning assets? Because in retirement, income is what you're looking for. So I hope that's been helpful. I hope you'll think about all these issues and do consider how the finances affects the marriage relationship. Do subscribe to this channel and all our social media. We're everywhere: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're there. Do subscribe because there's lots of free material, and we'll be discussing coming up next the holiday period. Make sure you check out that video so you can have fun this December. God bless.